all that
Two,
once. All right,
one,
we are
go.
live.
Live and direct.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yay. All right, good
There we
job.
go. Good
Good
job,
job, Jason.
Jason. Let's get
Makes
that
fun
gift
laugh
going.
every time. Wait a minute, why did it come in twice?
I don't know. It's a double roll call.
We really need to do roll
By
call.
the way,
at
isn't it
exactly 5.
ROLL? That was ROLL. Maybe it's ROLE, but
Actually,
it is
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Sandy's right. All right,
Wait
we've
a minute.
got Aaliyah and Seamus and Kevin and Jason and Frank and Jill and John and Rose and Rick and Sandy and Michael. Anybody sneaking in the sidebar? I think I saw. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got Rose. I think that's everybody. All right. Oh no, Aaliyah, I wouldn't take on Sandy on this. Sandy's the grammar spelling queen.
But I can understand how it could be ROLE. Like, what role are you playing? And let's call out all the people and their roles or something. But I thought it came like I thought it had to do with like scrolls or roles of like a list of people. The role.
Right. Well, Jill says correctly, ROLE call would be if we asked how many of you are developers.
Yeah.
That's a good way to remember it. Looks like Michael King joined us as well. That's
just
exciting.
Snuck in under the wire.
I don't make it, I just share them. All right. Well, I've got a lot of reading to do tonight, so I think we should probably get going. What do you think?
So, Jason, did you just search for another one that said
spelled correctly?
ROLL? And you just happen to find that one?
That's the kind of quality we expect around here.
Looks like you got a pretty full load tonight with your
full
18,
load.
your 18 years of going strong.
Oh yeah. Let's let me get into it.
Am I
taking my thunder? Yep, you are. That's great. All right, here we go. Mute yourself. Oh, jeez. Okay, in all my tests, I turned the volume way up. That was way too loud. Why is that loud, though? It's like super loud. Just a second here. Okay, I can stand that. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, posted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, May 14th, 2023, and this is show number 940. Well, 18 years ago yesterday, I picked up a microphone and I recorded the very first episode of the NosillaCast. I'm very proud of the work I've done here, but you know what? I don't take full credit for keeping the show going with fresh episodes every single week. I absolutely could not do this without the support of Steve. He does nearly every chore around the house, which leaves me free to write the shows, record the shows, be on other people's shows, basically keeps the podcast going. And of course, there would be no shows. And of course, where would the shows be without Bart Bouchatz? From security bits to taming the terminal to programming by stealth, he provides not just content, but he's a wonderful human being that I really feel honored to get to hang out with every couple of weeks. We have so much fun together. Without Bart and Alistair taking the reins while I'm gallivanting around the world, the streak would not have continued either. And I couldn't do it without all of the NosillaCastaways who provide reviews for the show that lower my workload when things get tight, like when I want to go play with the grandkids. Oh, I'm not sure I would have kept going all this time if it wasn't for the live show listeners. They make it ever so much more fun to create the shows. They're giving me a hard time right now, sending pictures of sausage because we call it watching the sausage get made. But, I know they'd throttle me if I missed a week, so I know that they're important to keeping this show going. And if you're listening, thank you so much for staying subscribed. All right, enough pats on the back. Let's get into the show. Okay, I see a typo right away. Weak. Got an extra D there. All right. Let's see. Chapter mark. Kevin's going to like this one. I never know what to do with Bodhi's. Actually, does Bodhi have a title for this? The deep fake defense.
The deep fake defense, right.
I didn't understand what was the joke you and he were joking around. He called it an EV show with an ever so slight Tesla bias. Is that what he called it?
Yeah, he was pulling from your tagline and just changing
But
a couple
where
words.
did he say that?
It's funny. I couldn't find it on his website, but I saw it when he posted something. The tagline showed up on either a Twitter or Mastodon post or both as a as a tagline. But
Huh.
I couldn't
Yeah,
find it
he
anywhere
doesn't
else.
have a website, so it couldn't have
Well,
been there.
the Acast website, his podcast web.
Okay. Let me see if I can get it to come up, if I can see it there. No.
I searched.
Oh, well. I'm going to go ahead and keep recording here. Okay, John can't hear anything on Discord or YouTube. Clean out in your ears. All right, here we go. Well, this week, Steve and I both joined Bodie Grimm on his awesome Kilowatt podcast. We got into a fascinating discussion on the use of deep fakes as a legal defense strategy, including their application by Tesla's legal team. Check out Kilowatt in your podcatcher of choice, because it's a great podcast about EV news done by one of the most self-deprecating and hilarious people I've ever met in my life. We both love Bodie, and we had a blast with him, so follow the link in the show notes, but you can just look for Kilowatt Podcast in your podcatcher of choice. Alrighty. The next one's crazy. We did something crazy.
We did.
We? You're not the one
It's
of we.
It's the royal we.
No, it's me and
I'm
Bart.
feeling generous.
Okay. All right. Now I got to go find that one. Let's see, I don't need you. I need this and I need this. So we're going to, this one's very interesting. Here we go. When Bart and I recorded Programming by Stealth 150, all about bash script terminal plumbing, neither of us was actually happy with what we did. I got very confused in the middle, and I mean way more confused than usual, and Bart decided that his original strategy might have been flawed, in which he assumed everyone had heard the Taming the Terminal podcast and remembered everything he taught more than 4 years ago. So he went back and he completely rewrote the show notes for PBS 150, and we re-recorded the entire episode. I got to tell you, it was ever so much more fun, and I really understood what he was teaching this time through. Not because I'd heard it twice, but because the show notes are that much better, and the explanations were very sequential, and he gave us the first principles. Like, when he does that, those are the ones that really work well. Now, he also realized after we recorded the first time that there was a bit of information he hadn't taught us, which was crucial to being able to complete the challenge that he had set for us. If you understood PBS 150 the first time through and you want to jump right to the new part in the new recording, I put a chapter mark in the audio file that will take you right to where he explains /dev/TTY. We're really proud to have done this a second time because we're both of the same mind that we need to stay committed to the quality of what we're creating here, both for the current listeners and for the future listeners. So if you look in your podcatcher of choice for Chit Chat Across the Pond 767 or Programming by Stealth 150, you will find that the entire episode exists a second time, and it's called Take Two this time through. With any luck, if you delete the first one, it'll never come back. But if you want to keep it, I don't know, like as a collector's item or something like that, you certainly could. All right. That is the first time we ever did that. We have never re-recorded.
Was that a bit of work?
Oh, yeah.
I think you said that was a 2.5 hour session or something.
No. But it was like an hour and 15. How long is it?
But the time you were, behind the door was a lot longer than that.
I don't know how long it was. Let's see. Yeah, well, it's an hour and 45-minute episode. So
you were behind there at least 2 hours because you always have, your banter before and after.
Yeah, but it was. We had a little discussion up front of what we needed to do, but that was okay. Let's see, where am I? Okay, Mastodon and Twitter. Is there anybody in here who is not on Mastodon yet? Steve, you've been doing a little bit more. Whoops.
Yeah, a little
been
bit
doing
more.
a little more on Mastodon lately.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, maybe this will make you think about it, what I'm going to tell you here today.
Me?
No. People are answering the question.
Who are not on
a few
Mastodon,
people are
okay.
saying they're not.
Okay.
Well, Zoe, I'll be interested in what you think about after you hear this. Okay, here we go. I got a chapter mark. I got my water. All right. If you're a happy Twitter user, I have no intention of trying to make you sad about that. At the same time, I'd like to tell you why Mastodon is so much more fun for me. I'm sure this is going to shock you, but I'm someone who loves conversation. I know there's a lot of people who just like to lurk and enjoy the contributions of others, but I simply have to contribute to the conversation, and I want other people to react in some way to the things I post. A Mastodon sounds mysterious, but it absolutely is not. I use it exactly the way I use Twitter, but I'm getting so much more out of it. Let me explain by example. On Twitter, I have 3,673 followers. Let's call that roughly 4,000. Now, that's not Taylor Swift kind of numbers, but that's a whole lot of people who could potentially read and enjoy the drivel I post online. On Mastodon, I have only 680 followers, which is less than 20% the number of Twitter followers I have. To put that another way, my reach should be 5 times more on Twitter than on Mastodon. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I wrote an article about the app PopFrame that allows you to add bezel frames to iPhone screenshots. You probably remember it. I sent the exact same post out on both Twitter and Mastodon. Here's what I wrote. I think iPhone screenshots look silly without the frame around them, but it's too hard to add it until PopFrame. And then I put the title of the post, make your iPhone screenshot stand out with PopFrame, and a link to the post. Both services expanded the blog URL nicely to show my pretty featured image. The only difference between the two posts was that on Twitter, I tagged the developer Ramik and his PopFrame account. Ramik doesn't appear to have a presence yet on Mastodon. I watched the post for 7 days on both services to track engagement, and the results are in. On Twitter, the post received 0 comments. None. Nada. Nothing. On Mastodon, the same post about PopFrame received 7 comments. Now let's look at likes and reposts. On Mastodon, my post about PopFrame got 17 reposts and 23 likes. That's great. But on Twitter, it only got 2 of each. And one of the accounts that liked and reposted it was the PopFrame account itself. So other than the developer, only one person retweeted it. So think about that. This article got 1/8 as many reposts on an account with 5 times as many followers. That's a factor of 40 on engagement per follower on Mastodon versus Twitter. In just 2 hours, a photo of my cat got 7 times as many likes on Mastodon as my article about PopFrame did on Twitter in a whole week. Now, sure, of course, my cat is lovely, but it wasn't even Catterday. It was on a Tuesday. In 12 hours, it had 14 likes. I've been trying to figure out why I'm getting so much more traction on Mastodon than I've ever gotten on Twitter, and I have a few ideas. Now that we can't use third-party Twitter clients, and we have to use the official Twitter account or app or website, I think, actually, no, I started changing it. I've been trying to figure out why I'm getting so much more traction on Mastodon than I've ever gotten on Twitter, and I have a few ideas. The first thing I was thinking about was that now that I can't use a third-party Twitter client myself, and I have to use the official Twitter app or log into the website, I have a lot of trouble finding the content from the people I follow. Perhaps the algorithm simply doesn't surface my content to my nearly 4,000 followers on Twitter. Now, the second thing is it's very possible that the vast majority of my followers on Twitter are actually just bots. Maybe they aren't real people. Or maybe the followers I have on Twitter aren't really there anymore because they perceive it as being more toxic. Like I said up front, if you're still enjoying Twitter or you want less engagement with your followers, good on you. But if you're looking for folks a lot more excited to engage with each other and with way less rage, I highly suggest you check out Mastodon. There are tons of beginner how-tos out there now, like the one from Mozilla that I linked to in the show notes, and they've made picking a server way easier now. When that was one of the big hangups a lot of people had. You basically, when you go to sign up, you get two choices. They say, here's one of the main ones, or choose one of your own. So if you just pick the main one you're offered, you can go in and start having fun. Look for me, look for the people I follow, and start poking follow on those. And you'll start to find people who are really, really interesting. And I don't know. I find it great. I'm getting so much more fun out of Mastodon today than I do from Twitter. All right. There. All right. Did that make anybody think? I'm still on Twitter, but go over there and nobody's talking. They're yelling. Zoe, I know you do some social media stuff, right? Don't you do social media for Tom?
Is it for Tom? I think she does.
Whoops. Yeah.
Yes, I agree, Jill. It does depend on who you follow.
No, it doesn't depend on, well, what I was talking about doesn't depend on who I follow. It's who follows me.
Oh, you're getting yelled at.
Sorry, you're talking about back on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, your Twitter doesn't yell? Yeah. Yep. Anyway, if you don't need engagement to enjoy yourself, I guess it wouldn't matter as much as it does to me. All right. This is going to be fun.
So I couldn't see. Did you get the
chapter mark?
Book chapter mark? Okay.
I did. Let's see. Temporary files. Here we go. All right. I'm going to have to do a lot of starting and stopping to play this one correctly. Oh, but remember, Zoe, so you're saying the DTNS Twitter account is much bigger following than Mastodon. Absolutely. Mine has I have 5 times as many followers on Twitter, and I'm getting way more engagement out of that 1/5. That's the whole point, is I've got followers. That's not the problem. Just nobody's talking. Nobody's reacting. Nobody's responding in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I didn't say it in the recording, but it was Alistair and the developer were the only people who retweeted my tweet. And I got, what did I say? It was 27 or 17 in 7 days on the other one. I mean, I posted a funny cartoon on both, and I couldn't believe it. I got like 2 retweets on Twitter, and I got tons. I mean, I got like, I don't know, 40 on Mastodon. It spread like wildfire. So, I mean, people are just happier overall. So, I think they're bots over there. I don't know what it is, but like I said, more fun. All right, here we go. Every once in a while, you come across a tech product that has 0 value, but it just makes you smile. This week, I paid $4 for a macOS menu bar app called Clack. It's spelled K-L-A-C-K. Clack's job is to make your normal keyboard sound like come on, really? It's spelled K-L-A. Clack's entire job is to make your normal keyboard sound like a mechanical keyboard. It simulates mechanical switches, and it's awesome. You can customize which switch and it's awesome. You can customize which switch you'd like to simulate, choosing between the Everglide's Crystal Purple or Oreo switches or Cream from Novel Keys. You can change the volume of the keys between soft, balanced, and loud. That's literally it. I don't know why, but this makes me really happy. I used Audio Hijack to capture the sounds of the keyboard as I typed out the classic typing class phrase. Why am I having so much trouble? I used Audio Hijack to capture the sounds of the keyboard as I typed out the classic typing class phrase, "Now is the time for all good women to come to the aid of their country." Let's listen to all three of them. Okay, we're going to do Everglide's Crystal Purple first. Let's listen to all three of them. This is the Crystal Purple switches. Deja vu all over again? I didn't talk about this before. Okay, that was pretty fun, but it's got a little too much complexity to it for me. There's a lot happening with each keystroke. Geez, what? I can't even stay on one line. I'm going to do that again. What's going on? Come on. Well, that's pretty fun, but it has a little too much complexity to it for my taste. There's a lot happening with each keystroke. You can move to hear the switches moving around. So let's listen to Everglide's Oreo next. I don't think I needed to say that. Actually, I'm going to take that out because it's going to be... switches moving around. This is the Oreo switches. Actually, I'm going to start recording. Well, I'm kind of liking that a little bit better. Oreo was a lot less complex sound, but the fact that the spacebar makes a different sound really kind of distracts my brain. Let's listen to the final one. And this was Cream. This is the Cream switches. So I really like the high, clear clicks of that Oreo keyboard switches, and the spacebar isn't very different in sound from any of the other keys. The good news, though, is that each of us can choose the keyboard we like best. I'm going to stick with Oreo, but you can try the other ones if you like. Now, if you really like clack, but sometimes it's not appropriate to make so much noise, you can toggle clack off with a keyboard shortcut defined in settings. I've started to use that a lot because, doing a podcast, maybe it's not the best idea to have it going in the background. Now, by default, the shortcut is set to Option Command K, but you can change it to something else if you like. Now, the developer says at tryclack.com that clack has a high fidelity sound and even immersive spatial audio. Well, I hadn't actually noticed that until I read it. No, that's not the right thing. I don't know about immersive spatial audio, but sure. Now, I hadn't noticed this until I read it on the website, but the keys actually make a different sound going down as they do going up. How fun is that? By the way, Clack is a native app created in Swift. Clack seems like something people with visual impairments might like because, well, it turns out they like everything everyone else likes, right? I ran Clack through my usual tests, and I was able to interact with the menu bar app without any difficulties, changing the volume and keyboard options. However, settings for Clack wouldn't let me navigate to the different options. I dropped a note to the developer, and I expect they'll get it sorted. There's not that much in settings anyway, so you can definitely use Clack until it's sorted. I know making your quiet keyboard artificially make noise is a silly thing to enjoy, but I really am enjoying it. If you've priced out mechanical keyboards, $4 might sound like a very reasonable price to get you at least a small part of the joy of a mechanical keyboard, even if you can't feel it. Now, to prove that I'm not the only one who thinks this is fun, this is what Bill Reveal wrote in our Slack shortly after I posted about Clack. "You are so evil. Just spent my money to get it, and I'm sitting here just loving the idiocy of hearing my MacBook clickety-clack away. It will drive me crazy every so often, but it also lets me know I've actually typed something, which is a good thing. Even this post is making me giggle with the sounds of a mechanical keyboard. I swear my keyboard even feels better." So, proof, Bill Reveal gives it his sign of approval. You can buy Clack in the Mac App Store or at tryclack.com. Do they, Aaliyah?
Well, guess who joined us?
Who?
Not the parrot.
Not the parrot.
Guy is here again.
That's been a while. I don't see him in the sidebar.
Wait, you don't have audio? Wait, where's the audio?
Who says
Are you not hearing us, Guy?
Guy might not be in Live Show Listen. I don't see him in Live Show Listen. Do you?
Okay. Yeah. So you do need to be in the live show. Well, if you can't hear us, let me type.
Yeah, you got to type. Somebody type it to him. All right. Yeah, it's been a while. How you doing, Guy? I should save and do a chapter mark. All right. Oh, do you want to bring the speaker in, Steve?
Yes, I will go get it.
Which one? Your ugly one or mine?
Probably yours. Oh, I could bring them both.
You could. You could show yours.
I'll be back.
I like that you say it sounds like your Keychron. Did one of the three sound more like it than the others? That's fun. Yeah, we like John that are Teslas, even though they're terrifying for the blind. It is really spooky to watch our cars move and not make any sound at all. The newer ones do have it, but oh, good. Well, you can show yours.
No, then I go full frame this way on you.
Okay. This is what we're going to talk about next. Yeah. Oh, the first time I ever noticed that was on a Prius. So Steve and I, when we are in a parking lot, our friend Ron taught us to chant, "They can't hear me. They can't hear me. They can't hear me," whenever you're driving near people. Because I think I've told you this before, but he said he was driving down in a parking structure, and there were some people walking behind the cars on one side, and they just turned and walked right in front of him. So, yeah, the Prius probably didn't try to run you over. The Prius probably didn't know that you didn't know they were there. That's what it is. So that's where you just got to say, when you're driving these cars, they can't hear me. They can't hear me. They can't hear me. I think it every single time. So, all right. I mean, maybe that one did. It was probably not the Prius's fault. It's probably the driver. All right, here we go.
You're not going to show them beforehand?
I did.
Are you going to do it? Oh, you did?
I went like this.
Oh, I didn't go full frame.
Okay.
Did you show the bottoms and the tops? Okay. We won't do that.
There's the top.
Oh, but all the buttons.
There's the little door. I'm going to talk to him, and you're going to show him photos too, dear.
All right.
You love to drive. Why don't you take yours and you do it?
Nah.
Pest. Okay, here we go. A little more than a year ago, I told you about Shower Power from Ampere, which is a hydro-powered Bluetooth shower speaker. We bought Shower Power through Kickstarter in October of 2020, and as often happens with crowdfunded efforts, it took forever to get the device, where forever is defined as about a year and a half. I guess we should count ourselves lucky that we got it at all, because not everybody gets what they thought they were going to get when they do these crowdfunded operations. So Shower Power is a device that you put between the shower head and the pipe to which the shower head normally connects. So it kind of makes your shower head lower. You then connect the Bluetooth speaker to the side of the Shower Power. The device has an impeller that generates energy from the power of the water coming through to charge the Bluetooth speaker. When we bought Shower Power, we bought an extra droplet, which is what they call their Bluetooth speakers. At first, we thought the whole system was pretty cool, but over time, we've kind of become disenchanted. The device leaked, so Steve had to turn it to kind of an illogical angle that made it a little harder to hear the speaker and get to the controls, and the device did cause our shower head to be lower than we actually wanted it to be. Since Bluetooth on a speaker is pretty much a nightmare to be used by two different phones, I always used the second droplet just by setting it inside the shower, and Steve used the one that was on the impeller that was actually on the Shower Power. The other thing is that Bluetooth speakers last a long time on battery, so it turned out that having a speaker stay charged from hydroelectric power wasn't actually that big of an advantage. Steve ended up getting rid of the shower power itself, and then we just used our droplets as independent devices, charging them from the mains. But the audio quality on the droplets isn't quite what we hoped for either. In my original review, I wrote, quote, "Deep voices in spoken podcasts are a bit muddled for our tastes, but I didn't expect super high fidelity." Now, most tech podcasts are created by men, or at least the ones I've chosen to listen to are predominantly male voices, and it's often hard to understand what they're saying with the droplet unless I crank the volume way up. My birthday rolled around this year, as it seems to do every year so far, and my mother and father-in-law sent me an Amazon gift card. I love these gift cards because I save them for something I do not need, but I just really want. I wanted a new waterproof Bluetooth speaker appropriate for the shower. I found a terrific site called rtings.com, so rtings.com. And this is a place where they review a lot of different things. They've got home entertainment, home products like vacuums and blenders. They've got computer peripherals they cover, and electronics such as headphones, speakers, and cameras. Now, the categories for the review are not as broad as, say, the Wirecutter, but they go deep and deep in all the good ways. So they have a page dedicated to the 6 best shower speakers of spring 2023. They categorize the winners as best, best mid-range, best lower mid-range, budget, cheap, and smart. They also provide a summary table of 58 of the 113 speakers they tested. That's a lot of speakers. Now, the reason I trusted the recommendation is that they test and score by a lot of different qualities. Specifically, they rate speakers for music, videos and movies, outdoor sound, and most importantly, podcasts. So they get a rating on all those different types of things you might want to listen to. You can sort their summary table by how well these devices did by these categories. Now, I'm definitely not going to dig into the details of the 6 speakers they recommended, but I do want to talk about the one I chose and what I learned from the Artings review. I ended up going with the best lower mid-range because it was close to my budget at $80. Now, that was on Amazon and it's normally $100, so it was $80. The best lower mid-range speaker is the Ultimate Ears Wonder Boom 3. Now, I yelled it like that because it's in all capital letters, Wonder Boom. Anyway, I not only like the price point, but it also comes in hyper pink, which has value to me, great value, because it's a Steve repellent. Keeps him from stealing mine. But the main thing that caught my eye was that it got a 7.9 out of 10 on listening to podcasts. Now, that makes it tied for 3rd place of the 58 speakers they reviewed. The only 2 that rated higher for podcasts were the $400 Sonos Move, and the other one was the previous generation of the Ultimate Ears, which was the Wonder Boom 2. Now, they were rated, those 2 speakers were rated 8.1 and 8.0, so 7.9 is great for the $80 price of Wonder Boom 3. The Wonder Boom 3 is rated IP67, which according to the specs means completely protected from dust and protection from immersion in water for up to 1 meter for up to 30 minutes. It floats in water, so this could be super fun in a pool, and it's supposed to have over 22 hours of playtime. I wish it had USB charging, but sadly, behind a water-sealed access door, it's still sporting the most annoying connector ever designed, micro USB. Now, the full review page on Artings has even more information and scoring, and it just gets super nerdy. You can see the raw frequency response curve for the device and the frequency response accuracy. I don't even know what that second one is, but the Wonder Boom 3 gets a slope of 0.76 and standard error of 2.71 dB, low frequency extension of 88.5 hertz, and high frequency extension of 16.0 kilohertz. So that's got to be good, right? I don't know what any of that means. Anyway, you can see the soundstage and dynamics too, if you know what those are. Well, technically, you can probably see them even if you don't know what those are, but you know what I mean. Artings have also detailed sections explaining the scores for style, portability, build quality, and controls. I would agree with their assessment on the Wonder Boom 3 as a 9.3 on portability. It looks kind of like a shorter version of a Big Girl HomePod and has a nice fabric hook on it to hang on a shower caddy. They gave the Wonder Boom 3 a 9.0 on build quality, which is also great. I'd even agree with their 6.6 rating on the controls on Wonder Boom 3. There are 3 buttons on the top, and I haven't been able to reliably remember to figure out what each one of these buttons do. I know the big center button is a play pause button, and I read in the manual that double pushing it will skip forward, which is nice for skipping commercials. But the other 2 are more mysterious. I don't understand why they did them this way. One is a small bump with a hole for a light to shine through, and the other one is an indented button with a slot for a light to shine through there. And I think the slotted indent is to turn it on and off, and I think the bump is to pair it, but I've also gotten it into pairing mode accidentally using the indent button. I swear I did it one time. On the side of the Wonder Boom 3, there are giant plus-minus buttons, which even I can figure out are to turn the volume up and down. They're harder to push than I would like, but at least I can figure them out. On the bottom of the Wonder Boom 3, there's a button with an evergreen tree on it, and you use this button to turn on an outdoor mode. They say it's specifically tuned for the great outdoors. I tested this mode, outdoors of course, and at higher volumes my podcast got louder and more clear. When I did it at lower volumes, I couldn't actually tell the difference with and without the evergreen tree button pressed. But I am looking forward to annoying my neighbors with outdoor mode. Now, if you've got visual impairments, all of these buttons are very touchable. You can tell where they are, you can feel the difference between them, so that's a big advantage, I think. Even if I can't figure out which one's which, you probably can. Now, Wonder Boom 3 makes a lot of different noises to let you know what it's doing. Let me turn it on for you here and see if you can hear it. Wait, that's the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button right away. Let's see. Okay, that was turning it on. If I turn it off, I think that was turning it off. Yeah, that was turning it off. It had extra sounds. And then it's got a different set of noises for pairing. And it will turn itself off if you forget about it for a while, and you'll actually hear it turn itself off. Now, I was originally going to say that the Wonder Boom 3 doesn't have a battery charge indicator because there's no set of lights to look at. But again, in something that's better for people with visual impairment or helps people with visual impairments, there is a way to do it. In a desperate move, I finally read the tiny paperfold manual, and it said to hold down the plus minus buttons at the same time. I did that, and here's the sound that it made. Okay, I have to do this one because let me see. I'm going to try it right now because I'm not sure what sound it's going to make because I charged it. Okay, wait, I got to turn it on first. Okay, there it's turned on. Okay, now that's what the manual says to do. So what is that? What is the
I think that's the full charge sound.
Steve is right, but that was mean of you to answer.
Are you recording?
No, but you know what the answer is because I've already cleared
you're
these
testing
for
the
you.
audience. Got it.
Yeah. Good job, Steve. Okay, so here's, was that a plank? There you go. Okay, so I did that, and here's the sound that it made. Okay. All right. Okay, that's nice, but what does that noise mean? Is that full? Is that empty? Is it somewhere in between? I don't know. So in an even more desperate move, I did some of the Googles and I found an Ultimate Ears webpage with some FAQs, one of which expanded to explain the 3 sounds. The sound we heard meant that the battery was half full. If the battery is fully charged, it sounds like this. And this will now be the full one. Okay. And if it's running low, it makes a sound that I think we're all used to hearing. Critically low. Yeah, we're all used to that sad sound. So the one that kind of goes up with a doop at the end, that's the one when it's full, and the one that's just kind of mediocre kind of sound, doesn't seem to convey any information, that's the medium one. So it is actually really good at telling you what these different levels are, and don't use lights, which drive people who have visual impairments crazy because they can't see the lights. but hopefully you can hear the sounds. If you're audio impaired, I think you're going to be out of luck. You're actually not going to know. But this has 22-hour battery life, which is pretty good. So, plug it in every couple of weeks, probably you'll be fine. Probably the most extraordinary feature of the Wonderboom 3 is one that was promised in the RTings testing, but I did not believe it before I bought it. This speaker will pair to 2 devices at the same time. I am not kidding, 2, and it actually works. I paired it to my iPhone first, then my iPad, and I was able to play on one, stop, then play on the other, all without going into Bluetooth settings to connect. I'm not joking. It actually worked. It was miraculous. I remember when we had our Acuras and switching devices was so hard with Bluetooth and so time consuming and failed a lot that we instituted a rule that the owner of the car got to use Bluetooth, but the other person had to use a wired connection in that car and the opposite in the other car. It was the only way to achieve peace in our family. Now, Steve paired his iPhone with my new speaker, and that pretty much destroyed everything, proving that the miracle does not extend to more than 2 devices. As soon as I disconnected the iPad, then we were able to toggle back and forth between the 2 phones with ease. He thought that's how I was going to keep things so he could use my new speaker too. He was wrong. I sent him a link to buy a boring black Wonderboom 3 for himself, and he said, "Oh, good, because that pink is awful." Mission accomplished. So after all this yapping, I realized I haven't talked about the sound itself of the speakers. I can say that podcasts are much easier to understand now with Wonderboom 3. My main test is the Accidental Tech podcast, where really often I could not understand John Siracusa when using the shower power droplet. We do have trouble hearing John when we play ATP on the car on road trips too, so maybe some of the mix has just got him in a muddled state. But with Wonderboom 3, his voice came through really clearly. It was slightly harder to hear Casey Liss, who has a higher pitched voice in the cast, but I just boosted the volume a little more and I was able to hear them both with ease. Steve is very happy with the audio quality on his as well, really happy that he was able to get one. And by the way, he ordered it this morning and I'm holding it in my hand and showing it to the live audience right now. Amazon delivered it to him same day. The Ultimate Ears Wonderboom 3 meets all of my needs, including repelling Steve with Hyper Pink and especially delivering my podcast for easy and clear listening. Being able to pair to 2 devices at once is a dream I did not know would be realized in my lifetime. You can learn about Wonderboom 3 on the Ultimate Ears website. I'm going to do that again. You can learn all about Wonderboom 3 on the Ultimate Ears website, but make sure you know that you'll pay more if you buy direct from the Wonderboom. You can learn more about Wonderboom 3 on the Ultimate Ears website, but if you go there and you buy direct, you'll actually pay more. I highly encourage you to check out the detailed reviews of shower speakers on rtings.com and use their affiliate links because we want these people to keep doing this kind of testing. And you can go in there and play around in all of the other categories they review and test. Again, that's rtings.com.
Sounds like the most important feature was that ultra pink Steve repellent.
Yeah, I forgot to turn it off. I like them. The nice little shower caddy.
Yeah.
Shower caddy hook. All right. I think it is time for... I'll put a link in show support the show just in case, but I'm not going to panel.
Jill is also repelled by pink. I'll have you know.
I think they make a light gray too, don't they, Steve?
Yes. I think there were 4 colors in total. I can't remember what the 4th one is.
Hedy Lamarr. Okay, so Hedy Lamarr, except the picture is, what's his name from the Carol Burnett show, right?
Harvey Korman?
No. Harvey Korman, there we go.
Is that Harvey?
Oh, no, not the parrot is there. Who's Hedy Lamarr?
Headley.
Oh, it's Headley. Headley Lamarr, there we go. Okay. Oh, Ian snuck in here.
Everybody's here.
Oh,
Drink
it's Drunk Nick Nolte.
Marty.
Okay. I have enough trouble keeping. I can't even remember my own kids' names. You guys are messing with me. All right, I'm going to record the pledge break here. Oh, you got a big shout out in in security bits as part of the I did that screenshot you did of iPhoto making your thumbnails and what Alistair ended up saying. I'd use that for the palette cleanser. Okay. Well, it's time for pledge break, but instead of asking for money this week, I'd like to thank all those who support the show financially for making it easier for me to do the show. Keeping going for 18 years, I'm telling you, it really makes a difference to know that you get enough value out of the show to actually plunk down your hard-earned money to support the work we do here. You have made 18 years of podcasting possible. Mongo sad. Alrighty. It is time for security bits. Oh, let's do a chapter mark. You got a lot of chapter marks to count, Steve.
Oh, it's going to be horrendous.
Hell on earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Copy link. All right. Oh, okay. You know, it's really funny. My parents walked out of the movie Blazing Saddles in disgust because it was so profane. And I remember many years later, I think
Straight-laced much?
I caught my dad actually watching the movie. And I gave him a bunch of crap for it. And he said, Allison, the problem is that things have gotten so raunchy overall. It's not that bad anymore in comparison.
Times have changed.
That was
I'm curious, what scene is it that caused them to
I know, you've always wanted to know, was it the fart
Was
scene?
it the beans?
Move those over a little bit. All right. You want to hear Plank, Steve?
Oh, you bet.
Blink.
There we go.
All right. Why didn't... That's interesting. Oh, I need to take all of these. Hang on. Move them all over. And I need to separate you. And... That's not... Whoa. Look at that delay. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look how far apart that from here to here. That's interesting. That's crazy. Okay, so I got to get rid of me here. I'll get rid of Bart there. Get rid of me here. I'll pop you up and see where you should go. I'm going to put you somewhere in the middle, I guess. Let me check these. Whoop. What are you doing? I need to do that. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for... Let me go ahead and line them up while I'm at it. Put them about right there. Well, it's that time of the week. A little early?
Yep. About 10 milliseconds early.
Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Bouchatz. But what was wrong with that? Too late?
10 milliseconds late.
Oh, my God. You're killing me.
Oh.
What, too far?
Maybe you could expand your timeline to get better control.
Well, it's that time of the week again. Maybe you could expand your... It's time for Security Bits with Bart Bouchatz. Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's that time of the week again. No, it's perfect. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Bouchatz, but horrible.
It's an interesting way.
Now, this is horrible.
It's an interesting way to look at the universe.
I should give you what I'm saying. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Bouchatz, but I am telling you, we cannot catch a break. Like, nothing's going wrong right now. This is horrible.
It's an interesting way to look at the universe. Content creators have the strangest problems.
Well, I love Security Bits.
Problems.
What was that? Do you hear that? that on mine? Let's see.
Content creators have the strangest problems.
No, that was Bart's house. I love security bits. I love chatting with you about the latest disasters and what we can do about it. But this might be the shortest one possible, unless I could stretch it out by asking dumb questions. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Bart only did a small cup of coffee today, so
Yeah.
I don't have full reign.
Well, you say that.
All right. I think I got it lined up. All right. Get ready for your chapter,
Stay
Mark.
secure.
Steve, we're getting close. All right. All right. Well, that is going to wind us up for this week. Did you know you can email me? Actually, no. Well, after 18 years, that's going to wind us up for this week. Did you know you can email me at allison@podfeed.com anytime you like? Lots of people write to me, and I love engaging with people. You can tell. Remember the whole thing I said about Mastodon? I like people to talk to me, so send me an email anytime you like. If you have questions or a suggestion, just send it on over. You can follow me on Mastodon at Podfeet, at chaos.social. Of course, there's a link in the show notes. And remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com. If you want to join in the fun of the conversation, you can join our Slack community at podfeet.com/Slack, where you can talk to me and all of the other lovely Nosilla castaways and enjoy Alistair Jenks' Delete Me channel that we were just talking about. You can support the show at podfeet.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation, podfeet.com/PayPal. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. There we go. All right. Outro.
All right.
All right. How many chapter marks will he find? And stay subscribed.
I get 7.
7. Reminds me of an episode of Friends. Let's see. Come on. Why is that not? That's a bug. That little the little thing isn't showing up, Jill, that lets you change the height. Oh, there it is. Finally got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Very good.
We have 7 chapter marks. There was a chapter mark in Programming Based Stealth for the first time ever.
Seamus thinks we all should break out of the studio now, follow, and go and watch Blazing Saddles.
Oh, that's our assignment for this week?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. Break out of the studio now, following the podcast in the style of the end of Blazing Saddles.
And how did they do it at the end?
I don't remember. Or are you asking Seamus? All right. That is done. All right, Steve. They break the fourth wall. Oh, okay. Out of the lot?
Well, we're constantly breaking that wall.
Exactly. The wall is made to be broken.
In fact, we don't have a fourth wall.
Wait, you got a tail coming across there.
Sorry about that.
A little
We
cat
got
tail?
someone. There's someone close to the camera here. Little Gracie back end.
All right. Well, that doesn't sound right.
Now she's going for things. Oh boy.
All right. I think it might be time to cut us
It's
off.
time.
It's 5:53. We're going to get out of class early.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us.
Someone tell the Carol Burnett elephant story. I'll have to go watch all of my Carol Burnett DVDs to find that one. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Rose.
And happy Mother's Day again to you mothers.
Bye.
Oh, I guess I should end the broadcast.
Yeah, there's that too.